hope you all are doing well this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. Bridgewater. I hope you are well.
I am.
Very good. Let's see, when is the SAP reset date?
March the 19th.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we will get started as soon as courtroom 2 comes online with us. So, good afternoon, courtroom 2.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Let's see, we are ready to start whenever you all are.
All right, we're gonna go with position number 7, Ms. Tiara Masonette.
Good afternoon, Ms. Masonette. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000994 with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Good afternoon, Ms. Hardy. Is there a history?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This defendant has one arrest cycle out of Illinois. Their last arrest was May the 26th, 2021 out of Chicago for no driver's license and possession of controlled substance. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR through the jail. Nothing further.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Good to see you again. Extremely brief facts of the case is that the defendant, basically, there was a car that was pulled over for a traffic stop. They pulled over into a parking lot, and when the officer exited the vehicle, they could see the car rocking. It was determined that the defendant switched seats with an unlicensed driver during that traffic stop. Given the nature of the charges, the state will be requesting a signature bond through the jail. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Nothing further to add from the state at this time.
Afternoon, Mr. Ty. Any objection to any of that?
No objections, Your Honor.
Thank you. It'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good afternoon. Good luck to you, Ms. Masonette.
Thank you.
You done?
Thank you.
Your Honor, my screen is about to shut down for 30 seconds.
Okay. We will be in recess until courtroom 2 rejoins us. Okay, who do we have next? If you all are speaking, okay, there we go.
Matt, this is gonna be position number 8, Ms. Natasha McClendon.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. McClendon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. McClendon, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000995 with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 3 arrest cycles in Georgia. Felony conviction in 2016 for aggravated assault and aggravated battery. Also with that was battery family violence and cruelty to children. It appears that they're on probation for that. Their case number is 15 SC 137764. The last arrest was April the 13th, 2021 out of Fulton County for a probation violation. Nothing further to report.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is apparently the defendant assaulted, I believe it's her 6-year-old, I'm sorry, her 33-year-old, her 59-year-old mother. And this was caught by a witness. The victim in this incident, her name is Gladys McClendon. And the witness's name is Calvin McClendon. She is alleged to have bit, I guess, her mother, leaving bite marks. Our office was able to get in contact with the mother, who is the victim in this case. The victim stated that they do not live together. The victim stated that the incident location is the defendant's sister's residence, and she confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated that they have had previous incidences of violence. The previous case, as I believe she stated, was the 15 SC 137764, and she is actually on probation for, I believe, that case as well, if I'm not or she's on probation for a case involving battery, family violence, and aggravated assault. The victim stated that she has since had contact, since the incident, she has had contact with the defendant and has been on good terms. She does not wish to press charges, and she is okay with continuing to have contact. I do believe that she's on the Zoom call, so if you could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law. Your Honor, given the nature of I guess the probation and the nature of the charges, the state's request is a $3,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from the incident location, a no further contact, and the completion of an anger awareness course.
If Gladys McClendon is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. If you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to activate your camera, unmute yourself, and I'll have to swear you in.
Okay, perfect. No, I'm Natasha.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Ty.
Oh, I think the complaining witness, her mother, is on the line. I mean, I see her.
I see a Natasha McClendon, and
Judge, can you hear me?
yes, Miss.
I'm sorry. I stopped her video because she was smoking a cigarette and I was calling the name and nobody ever responded. So she very well may be on. If you want me to start the video again, I can. I just didn't want her to keep continue to smoke the cigarette in the video.
Okay, I appreciate that, Ms. Strong. Thank you. I see a Natasha McClendon. I don't know if that is the Gladys McClendon, but if it is, and you wish to speak with the court, you'll need to unmute yourself. We'll start your video again, but you have to properly be before this court, not smoking. Okay, can you unmute yourself, Ms. McClendon? Okay, there you go. So is this Miss Gladys McClendon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me, ma'am?
Yes,
Do you
sir.
swear? Okay, do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down, ma'am. What would you like to tell me?
I would like to tell you, me and my daughter, we on good terms. She just had got upset that day. She had a lot of pressure on her. But I'm still speaking to her. I love her. I wish her the best. So we still talking.
Okay, you're not afraid of her?
No.
Okay, and has this happened before?
It's been a while, way back when I'm washing the road, but it's happened when I told her don't do this no more. She said she wasn't gonna do it, but I feel that she got a lot of pressure on her because she don't have a job. She don't have nobody to watch her kid. I come over here to watch the kid for her while she try to look for a job. And there's a lot of load on her. So my heart really go out to her.
Okay, well, thank you, Ms. McClendon. We appreciate you being here this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Atai?
Go ahead.
My client is 33 years old. She is the mother of 3 minor children. She's lived in Georgia all her life, graduated from Tri-Cities High School. She does currently work full-time at Wendy's as a cashier. She does deny the allegations, and as you heard from the complaining witness, she's not afraid of her. They get along fine, and she wants to continue to have contact with her. So I would, of course, object to a stay away because they don't live together at that address. And for no violent contact. And she is recommended UJR level 1. That felony conviction was 8 years ago. It's been a long time. So I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services level 1 and no further restrictions. Thank you.
Signature bond through pretrial level 1, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Gladys McClendon, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to both of you, Ms. McClendons.
Thank you, sir.
What, Your Honor, what was the amount? We didn't hear the amount.
Yeah, we didn't hear.
5,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Thank you. You got it. Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to position number 14, Ms. Mika Terry.
Good afternoon, Ms. Terry. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Terry, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001001 with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 2 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia and Virginia. Their last arrest was February 29th, 2009 out of Cobb County for criminal trespass. Recommendation from pretrial is a UJR through the jail. Nothing further.
Afternoon, Mr. Walker.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 754 Dunlop Avenue, where they met with the victim, Mr. David Hardy. He advised that he and the defendant lived together. They were having a domestic dispute that turned physical when the defendant scratched him in his face multiple times. The officer did observe the visible scratches on his face. The state is asking for a $1,500 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, no contact with the victim, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And let me check. I believe we attempted to reach out to the victim. And I believe he will be on Zoom. So if you could sound for him, I would appreciate it.
Okay, if Mr. David Hardy is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm here.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now what would you like to tell the court?
I guess it's just the incident just got way out of hand. Miss Terry does not need to be there at all. She needs to be with her son. Her son's special needs. It's just toxic codependency. I am leaving the house. I just got the U-Haul. I'm waiting for the movers to assist. I should be maybe a couple more hours and then I'll be out and I'm leaving the state. So there won't be any issues between me and Miss Terry ever again. I know the differences with the contact and stuff like that. And I'm leaving here kind of rushed. So hopefully I didn't leave anything sentimental. If I did, I hope Miss Terry at least reach out, email, or she can call and we can kind of figure out something. And there's some utility bills that need to be switched over. I'm not going to do anything just yet. I'll give her some time and that way we can switch over the utility Wi-Fi and stuff like that. But I would like her home as soon as possible.
Okay, so Mr. Hardy, Are you wishing that I order no further violent contact? If I order no further contact, she cannot have any contact with you whatsoever by any means. If you tell me that you're not afraid of her and that you want her home and that you do want to contact with her, I would order no further violent contact. But if you don't want to have contact with her, then I'm going to order no further contact. What would you like for me to do, sir?
The second option is fine. I'm not afraid of her.
So no further violent contact?
Correct.
Okay. Anything further, sir?
I'm just sorry that this all happened, and I'm just sorry for it all.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you being here this afternoon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Atai.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is a 45-year-old mother of, as you heard, the 10-year-old son with autism. She does deny the allegations. In fact, she states that she's the one who called the police. I would be asking for a signature bond through the jail so that she can get back home and take care of her son, who only she can take care of. Her last arrest was in 2009, 15 years ago. And I think she's qualified for a signature bond through the jail. I would ask for no violent contact, and I would object to any kind of stay away, Your Honor.
Okay, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with David Hardy, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Terry.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go straight down the calendar. Next is gonna be position number 1, Mr. Acuna Quintero.
Good afternoon, Mr. Acuna. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Mr. Acuna, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000988 with giving false information to law enforcement and one other misdemeanor offense. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has one arrest cycle out of Texas. Their last arrest was September 24th, 2019 out of Eagle Pass, Texas, for alien admissible under Section 212. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 1, nothing further.
Your Honor, you've waived sounding on one of the charges. I'm not sure if you want me to read the facts of the case, but the recommendation from the state is a $3,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Stay away from the incident location, which appears that they both work at, which is the Goodwill, 10779 Alpharetta Highway in Roswell, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia, and a no contact with the victim in this case, Ms. Crystal Barnes, CrystalBarnes. It appears our office has not been able to get in contact with Ms. Barnes. So I ask that we sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law.
Although I waived sounding or did not sound the charge, Mr. Pierre Thomas, I still need to know what the allegations are.
Absolutely, Your Honor. It appears that the allegations is on. It appears that on March 2nd, 2024, the defendant intentionally made physical contact to the intimate parts of the body of Ms. Barnes without her consent and repeatedly made unwanted physical touching to her arm throughout the day. They both work at the Goodwill. As I stated, she asked him on numerous times to stop and also to get away. At one point, he touched her buttocks by grabbing her hips and calling her baby, and he asked to smell her hair. He actually physically touched her hair and followed her into the woman's bathroom. Upon closing of the Goodwill, the defendant then placed the victim in reasonable apprehension of fear of them being alone and causing her to lock the defendant out of the store. The defendant then began banging on the door and screaming for the victim. The victim was visibly distraught at the time that the officers showed up and was scared that further escalation of the sexual advances by the defendant would take place. The defendant himself admitted to entering the woman's restroom and making physical contact with the victim. Nothing further to add from the state.
Thank you, Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is an 18-year-old high school senior at Roswell High School. He does deny the allegations. He has absolutely no criminal history. That in 2019 he was 12 years old. So I don't know what that is. It shouldn't have even been read. But he has no criminal history. I'm asking for a signature bond through the jail I don't have any objection to a stay away or no further contact, Your Honor.
Was he just at the Goodwill or does he work at the Goodwill?
They're both current
Here,
employees.
but I assume he's not gonna work there anymore.
Where does he reside, Mr. Ty?
He
Was he-
resides with his parents. It's an address in Roswell. I don't have it here with me right now. I can tell you the address if you need it.
No, I just needed to know who he
Yeah.
lives with.
With his parents, and he attends Roswell High School. He's graduating in May. And Your Honor, I would also like to just state that he does deny the allegations, and he's worked at that Goodwill for 1 year.
Okay. For the first charge, it'll be a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the giving false information, a $500 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. He is to have no further contact with Ms. Barnes. He is to stay away from the Goodwill. Do we know which Goodwill that is, Mr. Pierre Thomas? You're on mute.
I just know the address. I'm assuming there's probably only one in Roswell. But I
Okay,
just know the address.
he's to stay away from the incident location, which is the Goodwill in Roswell. He is to have a curfew, and that curfew, he's to be in by 9 p.m. and he's to stay in until 6 a.m. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Kiana.
You done. Go to the back door. Back. Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to position number 2, Mr. Jason Clark.
Good afternoon, Mr. Clark. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Clark, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000989 with simple battery and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 21 arrest cycles in Georgia. Felony conviction in 2011 for possession of cocaine with intent. 2018 aggravated assault and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. There was a misdemeanor conviction in 2021 for battery family violence. Their last arrest, that was their last arrest. It was in August 22, 2022. Out of Fulton for simple battery. Recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 3. Nothing further.
Your Honor, very brief facts of the case is that it appears that on, looks like October 1st, 2023, the officers responded to a domestic disturbance at the incident location of 1354 Northwest Drive, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia. The victim advised that her brother grabbed her necklace and pulled it off her neck, breaking it into several pieces. Our office was fortunate enough to get in contact with the victim, who confirmed that states that they're siblings, that they're not siblings, that they're married, that they live together at the incident location, that they share no children. She confirmed that they got into an argument where he snatched her necklace off and it broke. I do believe that she is on the call, so if we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. And if I can just have 1 second to pull up her name, if Your Honor doesn't have the warrant in front.
Patricia Clark.
Thank you so much. If we could sound for Ms. Clark in accordance with Marcy's law. But the state's recommendation, and this is again based on the idea that at the time of the offense, he was on 2 active probations for violent charges, and then he also had a simple battery family violence arrest in 2021 and a separate simple battery family violence arrest in 2022. So the state's request is a $1,000 surety bond to be broken up as $500 on each count, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and stay away from the incident location, and no further contact with the victim, and the completion of an anger awareness course.
If Ms. Patricia Clark is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Does not appear so. Good afternoon, Mr. Cook.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, we have no problem with the conditions. We're not sure the anger awareness would be necessary, but we would ask the court to have its ruling conform with the recommendation of pretrial, which is, I understand it, an SOB level 3.
All right, for the simple battery, it'll be a $750 good bond. For the criminal trespass, a $250 good bond makes for a total of a $1,000 surety bond. No further contact with Ms. Clark. Stay away from the 1354 Northwest Drive address, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Clark.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Put you back row. Your Honor, next is going to be position number 3, Mr. Crespo Sepulveda.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sepulveda. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000990 with simple battery, family violence, and battery, family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant does not have any history to report.
There are extremely brief facts of the case is that the defendant punched his stepfather, who currently lives with him at 14140 Reserve Manor Lane in Roswell, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia, 30075, in the face with a closed fist, causing a gash between the left eye and the nose. He also pushed his mother, she also resides at the location, obviously, causing her to fall to the ground. It appears that the mother's name is Glorimar. I just spelled them Glorimar, last name Sepulveda-Torres, and the stepfather's name is Eduardo, Edgardo, last name Nazario-Perez, Perez. Our office has been able to get in contact with both victims, Your Honor. It appears that the stepfather stated that they've always had some verbal sort of aggressiveness between the two of them coming from the defendant. But this is the first time that he's hit him. He states that he's been with his mother for about 7 years. I do believe that they're both on the call. So if we could sound for them in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. But the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from the incident location, no contact with the victims, and the completion of an anger awareness course.
I see Mr. Nazario and Ms. Sepulveda on the line. If you wish to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Yes, Mr. Nazario, what would you like to tell the court?
Well, we love Nelson. I love him like he's my own kid. We've been together since he's 8. I think he needs some help. His mother and I are prepared to enroll him in a place so that he can get the help that he needs, and we'll help him transition out of the home. We don't wish to have no contact with him. We wish to have no violence, or however you put it. I'm sorry, violent contact with him. We want to have a relationship with him. We just think he needs some help, and in that case, we want him in our lives. But he needs to be on his own, and we're going to help with that.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here this afternoon. Mr. Cook?
Did you want to hear from Ms. Sepulveda first, Your Honor?
I assume that she would unmute herself or would have wanted to be sworn in, and since she didn't, I assume that she did not wish to address me. Is that correct, Ms. Sepulveda? Okay, thank you, ma'am. Yes, Mr. Cook.
Your Honor, we would have no problem with the SOD bond through pretrial services. No violent contact. I don't know how that would conform with a stay away. We don't see any reason for an anger awareness at this point. This is first incident. And we would leave the rest up to the judge's discretion.
Okay, for the simple battery, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the battery, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with Mr. Nazario or Ms. Sepulveda, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you,
Good luck. Good luck to you all.
Your Honor, what was that bond amount for the simple battery in the first one?
It's 2,000 for the simple battery and 3,000 for the battery.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
you're welcome.
We can go to the back row. Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to position number 5, Mr. Deontay Hayer.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hayer. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000992 with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 3 arrest cycles in Georgia, a misdemeanor conviction in 2018 for DUI. Their last arrest was June the 10th, 2019 out of Gwinnett for a probation violation. And there also appears to be a hold out of Cartersville for trespass, and the date of that is December the 10th, 2023. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 1. Nothing further to report.
Yeah, the brief facts of the case is that on March 3rd, 2024, the officer responded to 3915 Old Gordon Road, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30336 in regards to a fight call in progress for service. While there, the victim stated that her boyfriend of 1 year, the defendant, assaulted her the previous night with a closed fist to the face at the incident location, which is actually 3798 Atkins Road, Atlanta, Georgia. She stated that she did not report the incident in time due to her safety, due to fears for her safety, and that she had to sleep at the house with him that night. She stated that on the current day, another verbal dispute ensued where the defendant took her cell phone as well as her handbag and threw it at her. The victim at the time had red marks on her face. Our office was fortunate enough to get in contact with the victim. She stated that her and the defendant are in a relationship. They do not live together and they share no children. She stated that the incident location is the defendant's mother's residence. She stated that she was just staying there over the weekend. She confirmed the events in the warrants. She stated that this is not the first time the defendant has been violent towards her. And she stated that that the incident at her residence in Bartow County in November, there was an incident at her residence in Bartow County in either November or December where she had to call the police. And the officers at that time told her that they were going to take warrants out against the defendant. She is okay with a no violent contact, she states, but she does want him to stay away from her residence. I will put that in the chat for if Your Honor should say to order a stay away from that location. I do believe that she is on the call. If we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. But her name is, I'm going to say Jalea, Jaleeah, Sinex, Sinex. But the recommendation from the state is a $1,500 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no further contact with the victim in this case, a stay away from the, no stay away, I'm sorry, and the completion of an anger awareness course.
Ms. Sinex is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook.
Your Honor, my client denies the allegations in the accusation. As far as the conditions of bond, he has no problem staying away from the incident and staying away from her from here to eternity. We would ask for a signature only bond at the pretrial recommendation, which I think was level 1.
It will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Senex, stay away from her residence, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Hager.
Thank you. Your Honor, I apologize again. What was that bond amount?
$3,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next, we're gonna go to position number 9, Mr. McKinnon.
Good afternoon, Mr. McKinnon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. McKinnon, you've been charged in case 24CR000996 with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 6 arrest cycles in Georgia, a felony conviction in 2023 for aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. They appear to be on probation for that, first offender probation. The case number is 23 SC 188376. Last arrest was August the 23rd, 2023 out of Fulton for a simple battery against law enforcement. And that's open. That case number is 23 CP 220978. There's also another simple battery family violence open case number 23 CR 004835. And the recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 3. Nothing further to report.
No, this incident seems to have arisen out of a dispute as it relates to a dog, but basically on March 2nd, 2024, officers were dispatched to a call involving that dog at 980 United Avenue, Unit B. The defendant himself advised that he was trying to get ready for work that morning, and the victim's dog bit him. He said that he was trying to fight the dog off, and they put him out of the house. And they locked him out of the house. I guess he became enraged and punched the living room window, and it shattered. Officers were able to talk to the victim, and she stated that the dog was provoked to bite the defendant, and that after that, the defendant grabbed a pot from the kitchen and tried to fight the dog. While she was trying to put the dog away, the defendant started swinging the pot and banging on the bedroom door where the dog was already put up. The officers also spoke with a witness, the mother of the defendant, and I believe the mother of the victim as well, who advised that the similar story. They grabbed the defendant and put him out of the house, and she locked the door, and then the defendant punched the living room window and it shattered. The victim stated that they have been having ongoing problems with her brother and his temper for a while, and that she's already filed for eviction at that point. Our office was able to get in contact with the victim. She states that they are sister. She confirmed that they are sister and brother. She confirmed the events in the warrant. I do believe that she is on the call, so if we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's, that'd be greatly appreciated. But her name is Daquisha, Daquesha McKinnon, same name as the victim, as the defendant. The recommendation from the state is a $1,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, and the completion of an anger awareness course. Nothing further to add from the state at this time.
If Ms. Daquisha McKinnon is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Atai?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is only 19 years old. He is the father of 2 minor children. He has lived in Georgia all his life and graduated from Life Christian Academy, a high school. He does work full-time at Popeyes as a cashier and a cook. I mean, if you read the warrant, it shows that, first of all, he's charged with a criminal trespass damage to property for breaking the window. The warrant reflects that he was swinging a pot, defending himself against the attack from this dog, which is, he states, is a pit bull. He was transported to Grady. He has a deep dog bite on his leg. and states that the dog has attacked him before and other members of the household before. I think he said 4 times. I was able to speak with the complaining witness and his mother. They didn't tell me anything about an eviction. They said they were fine with him returning to the home. They were fine having contact with him and stated that they would be on the call. If you need to hear the statement from them to allow this 19-year-old to be able to return to his home and not be, out on the streets, I'm sure that I can get them on the call. But they did tell me that they're fine having contact with him and they will allow him back in the home. And I understand there's some history, Your Honor, but he is recommended UJR level 3. So I would be asking for a signature bond through pretrial services so that, he can get out, continue to work, and take care of his children.
Your Honor, in full candor, I wanted to give the victim an opportunity to speak. Our office has been able to get in contact with them as I stated. She states that nothing like this has ever happened before and that she is okay with the defendant returning to the residence.
Okay, as such, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. McKinnon, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you, Mr. McKinnon.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, I just have one quick question for Mr. Walker. Lenny Mejias. He's not on the calendar, but he was on our pull sheet.
It's going to be an NOD.
Thank you. Next is going to be position number 4, Mr. Hauser.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hauser. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000991 with simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 3 arrest cycles in Georgia. Their last arrest was August 27th, 2022 for criminal trespass out of Johns Creek. They did get a conviction for that. The recommendation for pretrial is a UJR level 1. Nothing further to report.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on February 15, 2024, the officers were dispatched to the incident location of 540, looks like St. Devon Way, in Johns Creek in Fulton County, Georgia, in reference to a domestic dispute between the mother, the victim, and the son, the defendant in this case, who reside at the same location. The victim advised that her son came into the bedroom and began verbally insulting and harassing her to wake her up. The victim also advised that that the defendant got extremely close to her face with a cell phone and the flashlight was on and continued to verbally insult her. The defendant then took the cell phone and struck the victim numerous times in the head. The incident could be viewed by the officer on video, and the officer did see the defendant striking the victim at the top of her head and the victim making an audible yell, ouch, basically, after being struck. The victim also told officers on the scene that the defendant used an umbrella to puncture holes in her pantry walls, and officers were able to observe those holes in the pantry walls. Fortunately, our office was able to get in contact with the victim. Looks like her name is Shelly Hooser, same last name, Shelly spelled Shelley. She states that she is in fact the mother of the defendant. She states that they do not live the defendant does not live with her. She confirmed the events in the warrant. There is a possible MH issue there. The victim did state that she had to call the police that day because the defendant was screaming and yelling at her and threatening to damage the residence. She stated that this has been ongoing for years and has escalated. She states that they have a previous case, looks like 22 CR 005759G. she states that she feels like a prisoner in her own home. I do believe that she is on the call, so if we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. But the recommendation from the state in this matter is a signature bond to the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from the incident location, no contact with the victim, and the completion of an anger awareness course. Nothing further to add from the state at this time.
Ms. Hauser, I see you on. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. I will need to swear you in. If you'll raise your right hand, do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can place your hand down. And before you begin speaking, I understand that Mr. Pierre Thomas said something about mental health issues. I just want you to know that this is being live streamed on YouTube. I would hate for any personal information of your sons to be placed out there, but I'm happy to hear whatever you have that you want to tell me today, okay?
Yeah, my husband was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, and we really feel like Michael has the same thing. He exhibits the exact same symptoms, except his are much worse. Mainly, he is paranoid. He, thinks there's a camera and everything, but he also has horrible verbal abuse. And that's, I think, the charge today was that he was doing that with the neighbor across the street with the verbal abuse. All we want for him, and we've been trying, is to get him help involuntarily, because he won't admit that he can't admit that he's got the issue himself. So today we did get approval for a 1013, but he has to be home to do that. He's taken anger management courses before. It doesn't do anything for him. Putting him in jail doesn't do anything. He needs medication for this mental issue.
So you are asking that I have no further violent contact with you, and you would like to see if you can get him into a treatment facility?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Anything further, ma'am?
No. In addition to the being diagnosed in the treatment facility, I'm gonna need assistance to making sure he takes the medicine, and I don't know if that's through the courts or how that works for someone who doesn't agree.
Well, the only thing that first of all, this is only a bond hearing today, and not an adjudication of guilt. Also, I can order that he stay on any prescribed medications, but if he does not stay on his prescribed medications, and he goes off that, he'll be in violation of his bond and he'll be back in custody.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being here this afternoon, Ms. Hauser. Yes, Mr. Cook.
Yes, I think I could piece this together with the state's recommendation. We would like a signature only bond through pretrial services. It appears that Ms. Hauser has no problem with no violent contact, so there wouldn't be a need for a stay away. And I would leave the rest up to the judge's discretion.
Okay. For the simple battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the criminal trespass, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with his mother, Shelley Hauser. Remain on any prescription medications that he is currently taking. Otherwise, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay, good luck to you all.
Thank you.
Next, Your Honor, is going to be position number 10, Mr. Pyatt.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Pyatt. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000998 with criminal trespass and one other misdemeanor offense. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 6 arrest cycles in Georgia. Their last arrest was December the 6th, 2023 out of Atlanta for a CWAC charge. It appears that they're also on probation for the same CWAC charge, 2 different case numbers. First one is 23 CR 0011575. The other one is 23 CR 0011151J. Recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 3, nothing further.
Would you mind,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hardy, would you mind direct chatting those charges to me, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes,
Mr. Walker?
The defendant was arrested for groping Miss Anastasia Willis. After he was arrested, it was determined that he had previously permanently been banned from MARTA. To the one count of criminal trespass, we are asking for a $1,500 surety bond, and due to his history, for the other count, we are asking for a $5,000 surety bond. No contact with the victim, Miss Willis, and obviously he's already banned from MARTA, so a stay away, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol with it. Wow, bond.
Okay. If Miss Anastasia Willis is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 20 years old. He is a lifelong Georgia resident. He works full-time as a bagger at Publix. He does deny the allegations. I don't really know. The warrant has no detail, Your Honor. He does deny that anything did happen. He has, I understand there's some open cases, some criminal history. I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. And of course, stay away if he's banned from MARTA, which he didn't know about that either.
Well, I don't think they're open cases. They're convictions that he's on probation for.
Okay. For the criminal trespass, it will be $1,000 good bond. For the other misdemeanor charge, it'll be a $2,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Willis, stay away from MARTA, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Pyatt.
Next, Your Honor, we're going to go to position number 11, Mr. Remy. Ryan Remy.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Remy. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
How you doing?
I'm fine. I hope you are as well, Mr. Remy. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000999 with theft of services. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 6 arrest cycles in Georgia. Misdemeanor conviction in 2018 for disorderly conduct, 2019 obstruction of law enforcement. Last arrest was February 28th, 2020 out of Douglas County for a probation violation. And the recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 1, nothing further.
So this defendant was arrested at the W Hotel for essentially staying 4 nights, ordering food and drinks and room service, and then unable to pay at the time of checkout. He actually did this before and was banned from the location, but he looked up and a new employee allowed him to check in, and here we are yet again. So the state is asking for a $2,000 surety bond. Of course, a stay away from the W Hotel, 400 West Peachtree, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
It's a tie.
Yes, my client is 23 years old. He has lived in Georgia for more than 10 years. He did graduate from New Manchester High School in Douglasville. He does work as a videographer. The dates are all over the place in the warrant. I don't know if he was not supposed to return to the W, but he does deny the allegation, states that he was shooting a music video and that he was not the person who made the reservation. It was a person above him at the company who was booking the shoot. I guess a credit card was denied. But anyway, he does deny the allegations, Your Honor, and states that that bill has likely been paid by now. So I wasn't able to get in touch with the hotel. It's not a W. It's like a,
Maybe we talking about different cases. I don't know.
no, it's like a 12 hotel. That address is not a W hotel. I
Okay.
mean, it's 12, some other hotel, but they don't have a phone number. So I couldn't get
Well,
it.
stay away from that address, I suppose.
He's fine with a stay away, Your Honor. He doesn't have a lot of history. There was a 2020 probation violation, but everything else is more than 5 years ago. So I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services. Stay away is fine and nothing further.
So I have to make sure that I know where he's to stay away from. It's 400 West Peachtree. Is that the address?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so whatever's located at 400 West Peachtree, Mr. Remy, you can't go back there. So it'll be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from 400 West Peachtree and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Remy.
Appreciate it.
Next, Your Honor, we have position number 12. Actually, no, we're gonna go to position number 13. Mr. Stevens, J.B. Stevens.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Stevens. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Thank you. Mr. Stevens, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000997 with simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has one arrest cycle in Georgia. Their last arrest was July the 27th, 2023, out of Rockdale for entering auto. There appears to be a hold out of Conyers for simple assault, and the date of that warrant is October the 3rd, 2023. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 2. Nothing further to report.
In this case, Your Honor, law enforcement was dispatched to 3875 Wisteria Lane, where they met with the victim, Ms. Jalivia Akins. She advised that her boyfriend was a defendant. They were engaged in a verbal disagreement that turned physical, at which point he punched her in the face. The state is asking for a $2,000 surety bond and stay away from the instant location, no contact with the victim, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Aiken is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 18 years old. He is a high school graduate and he is studying right now at Atlanta Technical College. He does work full-time. He does deny the allegations, Your Honor. He states that he called the police. That's also reflected in the warrant. He's fine with a stay away and no further contact. He does need a one-time law enforcement escort to retrieve his phone, which the complaining witness here is still in possession of. And I understand that, I mean, he's had only one arrest. So I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. He does have the hold in Conyers, so he still has to wait for them to pick him up, Your Honor. So I'd ask for a signature bond through the jail, stay away, no further contact, nothing further.
Set to the hold. We have $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Akins, stay away from the Wisteria Lane address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Stevens.
All right, thank you. Your Honor, I didn't catch that amount.
$5,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Thank you. Next, we're gonna go to Mr. Baruch Walker. Position number 15.
Good afternoon, Mr. Walker. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Walker, you've been charged in case 24CR001002 with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has a total of 14 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia and Illinois. Felony conviction in 2012 for purchase, possession, manufacture, distribution, or sale of marijuana. Last arrest was May the 10th, 2023 out of Atlanta for driving while license suspended or revoked. There is an open case in Fulton County for possession, purchase, possession, manufacture, distribution, sale of marijuana. That case number is 23 SC 189902. And the recommendation from pretrial is a UGR level 3. Nothing further to report.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 18 Kelso at Peyton Drive, where they met with the victim, Ms. Chanel Dixon. She advised that the defendant was her or is her boyfriend. They were in a verbal disagreement, at which time he punched and choked the victim. We are asking for a $3,500 surety bond. I stay away from the incident location. No contact with the victim. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 41 years old. He is the father of 3 minor children. He does work full-time as a social media marketer. He denies the allegations and states that he called the police. I was not able to get in touch with the complaining witness, Your Honor, but I know that the 18 Kelso address is my client's home, and the complaining witness does not live there, so I would object to a stay away. I know, there's history, and the felony conviction was 12 years ago. I didn't hear any violent history, Your Honor, so I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services. I would object to a stay away. The complaining witness does not live there. No further contact is fine. And nothing further.
And Your Honor, we attempted to reach out to the victim. We're unable, and that's the reason why we're asking for a non-contact. From my understanding, they do live together, and that's the basic battery family violence.
Okay, so there's going to be a no further contact, Ms. Atai. Now, if Ms. Dixon is living at the Kelso address, then he can't go there. But if she's not, then he can be there. Okay. Are any of the children with Ms. Dixon? No? Okay, thank you. So it'll be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Chanel Dixon, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You're welcome.
Next on is going to be position number 16, Mr. Washington.
Good afternoon, Mr. Washington. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Washington, you've been charged in case 24CR001003 with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has a total of 9 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia and Maryland. The last arrest was October the 11th, 2023 out of Atlanta for criminal trespass. And it says that was bound over to state court. Recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 2. Nothing further to report.
Yes, Your Honor. Law enforcement was dispatched to 239 Ponce de Leon due to a fight call where they met with the victim, Terry Brown. There was some type of dispute where the defendant hit the victim with a glass bottle, causing a laceration over the eye. We are asking for a stay away from that incident location, $2,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
And Terry Brown, Report, now it's your opportunity to do so. Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 30 years old. He has lived in Georgia for 2 years. He is residentially insecure. He denies the allegations and states that the complaining witness was the first aggressor. He cannot afford a bond, Your Honor. I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services. He has an address where he receives mail, so he would be able to, appear when summoned by the court. And also to report to pretrial services. He's fine with the stay away and no further contact. But again, I am asking for a signature bond because he cannot afford a bond, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Mr. Ty, can we get him a social worker visit to assist with housing?
Hold on, wait right here.
Yes.
Okay, and all right. So it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, a social worker visit to assist with housing, no further contact with Terry Brown, stay away from that Ponce de Leon address, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Mr. Washington, I'm gonna let you sign yourself out, but if you don't show up for your next hearing date, they're gonna put a warrant out for you. You're gonna be right back where you are. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Washington.
Next, Your Honor, is going to be position number 18, Mr. Raphael Wilson, position number 18.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Wilson, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001005 with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has a total of 16 arrest cycles with arrests out of Tennessee and Georgia. Felony conviction in 2014 for robbery, 2016 aggravated assault, 2022 possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The last arrest was September 16th, 2022 out of Bledsoe, Tennessee for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. And the recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 2. Nothing further to report.
In this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 1645 Oak Knoll, where they met with the victim, Ms. Samantha Sheely, who is on the line. She advised that they were having a domestic disagreement that turned physical. He pushed Ms. Healy to the ground. She reported that they do have a child together. We are asking for a $1,500 surety bond, a stay away, no contact with the victim, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
Yes, Ms. Sheila, good afternoon. If you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself and I'll have to swear you in. Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You can place your hands down. What would you like to tell me, Ms. Sheila?
So with Mr. Wilson, we do share a child together. I do want him to be in his son's life. They have a very, very strong bond. And I hope that we can continue co-parenting together and that this situation would never happen again.
Has this happened before?
Yes, we've had violence before.
Okay, and how old was the child?
He's 1.
And are you afraid of Mr. Wilson?
No.
All right, thank you for being here, Ms. Sheila.
Thank you.
Mr. Cook? You are mute, Mr. Cook.
I'm sorry. Bye-bye. Your Honor, we certainly want to make sure that there's a third party transferability so he can see his child. He has another place to live, so there's no problem with the stay away, and we'd look for no further violent contact. Beyond that, we would ask for a signature bond level 3.
Okay. It's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Shealy at the present time, stay away from the Oak Knoll address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. Third-party transfer of the minor child for visitation, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. So, Ms. Shealy, can you come back on video for me? Okay, I just want you to understand that although I'm going to give him a signature bond, I don't, until this is resolved, I don't want him to have anything, any contact with you. Contact means no contact. I'm not going to keep him from his child, but you all will have to arrange that through a third party for visitation. But until this matter is resolved, he's to have no further contact with you, but he can have contact with his child. Okay.
I have a question, Your Honor. How does that work if he can't have contact with me? How does he, because he's one and he's with me a lot of the time. So I just want to make sure I understand. Does that mean he can't call him on my phone or video him, or how do we handle that?
Do you have someone else that's in your life that can help you with your child speaking with his father?
Not someone that lives with me.
Okay. You asked me for, I don't want to keep him from his child, but I'll tell you what my concern is, Ms. Shealy. You've told me that this has happened in the past. This apparently has happened again relatively recently. I'm concerned. I mean, you're grown, he's grown, but that child is just a child, and what the child is going to see and hear and feel, that comes at a very young age.
Right.
So I want to make sure that I'm protecting your child from this type of, from this type of violence. So, but at the same time, I don't want to keep your child away from his father, but I want to protect you and that child. Okay. So if in the meantime, there's some problems that you have, having him see his child, then you're just going to have to work through that from now until we can resolve this matter. Okay. So I think I'm going to stay with my ruling because I really do want to protect your minor child from this type of alleged violence. So you will just have to work it out with someone so that he can see, or he'll have to work it out really with someone so that he can see his child.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, you also, Mr. Williams. And if I didn't say no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Yeah. Next, Your Honor, position number 19, Mr. Woodard. Position number 19.
Good afternoon, Mr. Woodard. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Woodard, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001006 with theft by receiving stolen property, theft of lost or mislaid property, and giving false information to law enforcement. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has a total of 24 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, and Tennessee. Felony conviction in 2019 for grand theft. Misdemeanor conviction in 2023 for theft of property. Their last arrest was August the 28th, 2023 out of Catoosa County for entering auto. And the recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 2. Nothing further to report.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant was pulled over for driving a red Silverado with no tags. An officer made the stop and ran the VIN number. The truck came back reported stolen out of the state of Tennessee. The defendant gave the officer the false name of John Jones, I believe, And then search incident to arrest revealed that he had a stolen debit card that did not belong to him in his possession. To two theft counts, we're asking for a $2,000 surety bond on each count. To the false name, we're asking for a $1,000 surety bond. In total, that would be a $5,000 surety. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. My client's position is that he bought this truck in Mississippi and did not know it was stolen out of, I believe, Cleveland, Tennessee. We would be asking for the court to consider the pretrial recommendation of a UJR bond. And from that point, we would ask the judge, we just leave it to the court's discretion.
And Your Honor, I omitted to ask for no contact with the victims. Their names are Jermaine Maddox, and the second name is Mitchell Duggan, Duggan.
Okay. So for the theft by receiving, it will be $1,000 good bond. Theft of lost and mislaid property, $1,000 good bond. Giving false information, a $500 good bond. It makes for a total of a $2,500 good bond. No further contact with the alleged victims, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Woodard.
Your Honor.
Yes, Norris.
Yeah, on the booking screen, it says willful obstruction of law enforcement officer misdemeanor, but on the calendar, it's saying giving false name, address, and birth date to law enforcement.
That's correct. I modified the charge, Deputy Norris.
All right, thank you. You got it. Next, we're gonna go to position number 12, Mr. Scott.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Scott. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Scott, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001000 with simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 22 arrest cycles in Georgia, felony conviction in 2017 for burglary. It appears that they received first offender on that. No seal date was listed. And there's a 2020 felony conviction for theft by receiving. Last arrest, September 26, 2023 out of Fulton for theft by receiving. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 2. Nothing further to report.
This case, law enforcement was dispatched to 532 Cleveland Avenue due to a fight call where they met with the victim, Ms. Carly Marion. She advised that her and the defendant are in a relationship. They were having a domestic disagreement that turned physical, and the defendant actually pulled the victim through a window. We're asking for a $2,000 surety bond, a no contact with the victim, a stay away from the instant location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
Last name is Miriam.
Marion, Marion.
If Ms. Carly Miriam is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 25 years old. He has lived in Georgia all his life. He does firmly deny the allegations and states that he does not know Carly Marion. He just has no idea who that is. He's never been at 532 Cleveland Avenue. This incident allegedly occurred December 18th of 2023. Her phone number is listed, the complaining witness phone number is listed in the warrant. I have not been able to get in touch with her. I've texted, I've called. I mean, the warrant states that he was identified in a single photo lineup. Your Honor, again, he does deny the allegations, denies that he knows this person, denies that she's pregnant with his child. denies that he's ever met anybody named Carly. The state's asking for a $2,000 surety bond. Your Honor, I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. I wish I was able to get in touch with the complaining witness, but he does state that he denies the allegations. He doesn't know who it is. So I'm asking for a signature bond through the jail. If Your Honor is not inclined, a signature bond through pretrial services. Of course, a stay away and no further contact is fine. Nothing further.
So we were able to get in contact with her. She confirmed that they were in a relationship and she knows him, so.
Okay. Excuse me. It'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Ms. Marion. Stay away from the Cleveland Avenue address, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
You're welcome.
repeat that bond amount. You keep going in and out and I didn't get it.
3,000 signature bond through the jail.
Thank you.
You know. And Your Honor, our quick announcements, position number 6 is a waiver. And position 17 should be an ACDC. 17. Ms. Webb should be an ACDC.
Okay. And so does that conclude everyone that we have in courtroom 2?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. And the waiver is position 6?
That is correct.
Okay,
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
good afternoon. So this is Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Officer Melton. Good afternoon, Ms. Webb. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Webb, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001004 with battery. Is there a history?
No.
No, Your Honor, this defendant doesn't have any history.
Okay. Walker.
Yes, this case law enforcement was dispatched to 1870 Campbellton Road where they met with the victim, Ms. Cretonia Fox. She advised that she is the aunt of the defendant. They were having a family disagreement, at which time the defendant struck Ms. Fox in the face. We are asking for a $1,500, a signature bond through pretrial services, no contact with the victim, a 2-day anger awareness, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while on bond, and a stay away from the incident location. And I believe Ms. Fox is on the line.
Ms. Fox is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. You of course do not have to, but if you would like to, you'll have to activate your camera, unmute yourself, and I'll have to swear you in. Mr. Cook.
Your Honor, my client is 57 years old. At the moment, she is residentially challenged. She would have no problem with a no contact and a stay away, or the no alcohol, drugs, weapons. The issues regarding a 2-day anger awareness course, she would not. I believe there's cost associated with that 2-day course. She would not have.
It's fully through pretrial services.
Oh, it is, okay. At the same time, I'm not sure that that she would be able to affect that, giving her limited resources and where to go and what to do. Maybe pretrial could help her with that. But we would be asking for a signature bond through the jail.
Mr. Walker, did you request a no further contact?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Cook, I would like for her to have a social worker visit to assist with housing if she does not have a place to reside. Otherwise, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Social worker visit to assist with housing, stay away from the Campbellton Road address, no further contact with Ms. Fox, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Ms. Webb. Officer Milton, and that's everyone today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good to see you. Have a good
Same
rest of
here.
your day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll go to position number 6, the waiver, Mr. Niall Lewis, charged in case 24 CR 000993 with battery. Is there a history?
That defendant has 9 arrest cycles in Georgia. Their last arrest was December the 5th, 2021 out of Fulton County for aggravated assault. And they have 2 open cases. The first one is 23 SC 189321. And that's aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. And then there's also 24 PI 001093 for possession of a firearm. And the recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 3. Nothing further to report.
And Your Honor, I just want to be clear. It looks like they might have had 2 additional arrests, which is the PI case, which is February 13, 2024, possession of the sawed-off shotgun. And I guess, and that's a 2024 arrest. And then also there was a separate 2023 arrest for battery, family violence, cruelty to children, and the third false imprisonment and aggravated assault out of Brookhaven. Your Honor, the facts of this case are such that on September 30th, 2023, the officer was dispatched to the incident location of 3380 Peachtree Road, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia. Officer spoke with the victim, who stated that her boyfriend of just 1 month, the defendant, punched her in the face, or to the left side of her face, with a closed fist, causing a busted lip and, not to be outdone, a chipped tooth. She stated that that she left her boyfriend, the defendant, in her apartment, and she left with a friend to go pick something up at another location. She stated that after arriving back, she discovered that about $1,500 was missing from her apartment. She stated that the money was in her purse in her closet. She stated that the defendant left the apartment and left the door open. She advised that she noticed that the defendant was on Instagram Live at a friend's apartment who lived in the same apartment complex, so she went there to confront him. She stated that she had knocked at the door for approximately 10 minutes, at which point the defendant finally opened the door, but again, not to be outdone, when he opened the door, he lifted his shirt, he showed her a black handgun, and at which point he proceeded to then punch her in the face, chipping her tooth and causing the injury to the left side of her mouth. At that point, he fled the scene. Our office was fortunate enough to get in contact with Miss Kenya Johnson, Kenya, Johnson, traditional spelling, and she advised that they were in a relationship. They did not live together, however, and they did not share any children together. She states that the incident location is her residence. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated that she had to pay about $400 out of her own pocket to get her tooth fixed. She states that she has not seen or spoken to the defendant since the incident, and she wants no contact with the defendant, and she wants him to stay away from her residence. I do believe that she may be on the call today, so if we could sound from Ms. Johnson in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated, Your Honor. But given the severity and the presence of a firearm and the severity and nature of the situation, Your Honor, and the presence of the 2 open cases, one for possessing a firearm and another for, well, 2 for possessing a firearm and another for violence, the recommendation from the state is a $10,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim in this case, a stay away from the incident location, and the completion of an anger awareness course. Nothing further to add from the state at this time.
If Ms. Kenya Johnson is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, I believe you had the $7,500 surety bond on the weapons charges. As for the other, we're going to leave this in the discretion.
Okay, it'll be a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with Ms. Johnson, stay away from the Peachtree Road address, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Okay, I believe that completes the 2 o'clock calendar. Ms. Bridgewater, when you're ready.
Okay. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be March the 19th. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 2 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. 3, reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 4, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 5, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 6 is going to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. 7, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. 8, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 9, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 10 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. 11, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. 12, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 13, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 14, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 15, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 16, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 17, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 18, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. And 19 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,500 good bond. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
If none,